Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. Welcome to today's video. So in this rather long video today, we're going to look at and answer the question of why you do not want to be building your coaching, your therapy, your hypnotherapy, your RTT, your coaching, NLP, whatever it is, why you do not want to be building this business locally. So there's always a lot of confusion, especially when therapists and coaches first start out in business, which is, Scott, I'm trying to build my business locally, but nothing's happening. I'm handing out the business cards, I'm hosting free events, I'm going around my local businesses, I'm knocking on the door, but nothing seems to be working. How do I grow my business? Well, what I'm going to be showing you today, guys, is the comparison between a therapist or a coach that builds their business locally in their local area with local people, or building it what we call online. So whether or not you're starting out in business or you are still stuck in the old model of trying to build your business locally, hopefully by the end of this rather long presentation, we're going to go into extensive detail. By the end of this presentation, you're going to see why building your business online is going to be the biggest evolution for your business and why you want to start this today. So make sure you grab a notepad and pen. Let's dive in. So firstly, up here, this is just a quick diagram of what happens when we build our business locally. The main and common issues that you're going to run into building this business like a brick and mortar business, like a coaching or therapy business, number one is numbers and location. We can only be in one place at once. So if we're trying to build our business locally, but we're also trying to market our business locally, there's only one of us, which means that I can only be in one place at one time. So location and how far I can stretch my business and how many people I can let know about my business is going to be limited by the location. But this all comes into factor with the numbers as well. What if I live in a rural area? What if the local shops or the not so local shops from where I live is 5 kilometers away, 10 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away? My next door neighbor is 5 kilometers away. What do? Well, then I'm definitely restricted by location and I'm restricted by numbers. If I live in a very small rural area of maybe only 1,000 people, it's not going to say that 1,000 people are going to want my service. Let's say maybe on average only 10 people out of every 1,000 people I speak to want my service. Well, now I'm definitely restricted by numbers and location. And this isn't very efficient. This is not a very efficient model. Next, we run into the issue with competition. What if you're in a local area or in a suburb or a state or something like that where there's a lot of competition? Well, then you run the risk of, if your prices are a little bit higher than everybody else, the people in your local area shopping around and always going for the cheapest price. Let's be honest, guys, this is what people do, okay? Regardless of how many certifications you have, how awesome you think your service or program is, people are always going to look for cheaper options. That's just what people do. Lastly is time and energy, okay? There's no efficiency when we have to physically leave our house and go hand out business cards. Go drop off flyers in the local, go drop off flyers in people's letterboxes. Go to our local business and knock on the door and talk to people about coaching and therapy. Anytime we're expending a lot of energy and having to spend a lot of time, a lot of walking time, travel time, moving time, this is not a very efficient model. Because let's say, for example, you have started your business and you are maybe seeing a couple of clients per day. This lowers that efficiency even more because now we're really restricted by time. So let's say, for example, you can only give yourself 1 or 2 hours per day to go get all of these things done, which is go hand out business cards, go to the local business and knock on their door and talk to them about coaching, maybe go to a weekly BNI event or a hand out your business card type event or a local luncheon, something like that. It's not going to be very efficient because we physically have to be there in person and we're limited by, like I said, numbers, location, competition in the area, and time and energy. And this is not a very efficient model. So if you're seeing that your model right now, because you are doing these things, what we call offline, where you're physically having to be there, this is the reason why trying to grow a business, make money, and scale is almost impossible. So what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is to simply build and market your business online. Take what you do, which is very limited by the numbers, location, competition, time, and energy, and put all your resources and your time and energy into an online business. This doesn't mean you can't see clients face to face. You might acquire clients by your online marketing that want to come and see you face to face, but an even better approach to all therapy and all coaching, what I recommend all of our students do, is get away from face to face altogether. face-to-face of building the business, handing out business cards and talking to people, and also actually treating your clients. You do want to evolve into working with clients online because, again, it is way more efficient in time. So if we're building and marketing our business online, what does it look like? Well, numbers and location, it becomes infinite because now we're not limited by where we live. We're just limited by how big the world is. And we have access to anyone around the world that has the internet. Anybody around the world that is on platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, which most people are. Let's start to target our audience online with these platforms. And now we don't run into issues of numbers and location. Competition. Well, you might be thinking, well, Scott, everyone tries to build their business online. And while this might be the case, it doesn't mean they're marketing their business correctly. I would say probably 5% of coaches or therapists really have mastered online marketing, really have mastered how to get clients online and acquire paying clients online, whether it's organic or it's paid marketing, which means that sure, it might look like there's more people online, but most people, what are they still doing? They're still doing this. They're still maybe trying to sell coaching and hypnotherapy. Now, why is that an issue? Well, what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to leave a video below of why you do not want to be marketing and selling hypnotherapy and coaching. This is part of it here. But overall, because the world's a bigger place than your local area, it means there's larger client numbers. So even if there is a lot of competition, your niche is oversaturated, it still means that the competition is going to be distributed over a longer place and more people because there's more people online. We're not limited by our local area. Time and energy, well, you can literally start and run your business on a laptop or a mobile phone. We have dozens of students, and we get regular testimonials about this, of our students literally doing their entire business from their phone and making upwards of 10 to 20 grand per month without leaving their house. It's infinite in how big we can scale a business online. It is not infinite. It's very restricted when we're trying to build a business locally. Because again, we are limited by numbers and location, but online it's infinite. There is more people we can target online, and we don't have to expend a lot of energy. We don't have to physically leave our house to get the attention of our audience and show them our service, which makes it almost infinite to grow and scale. So now we've got an overview to get away from building and marketing your business locally and instead building and marketing your business online. How do we go ahead and do this? Well, let's have a look. So if you're building your business, maybe offline, okay, you've probably done all of these sorts of things. So right now, if you're giving away the free sessions, you're giving away free giveaways, maybe you're working with friends and family. Again, this is not a very efficient model. Like I said, you're going to those networking and local BNI events. Well, again, it's not a very efficient model. Maybe you are going around to all your local, hairdressers and supermarkets and other physical shops, and you're knocking on the door. You're spending an hour talking to the owner or the people in the store about hypnotherapy and coaching, essentially talking to absolute strangers who don't understand what the hell you're talking about. It's not going to be very efficient. If you're doing the whole business card thing, this is sort of what it looks like. I mean, how often have you received a business card in the mail with all your other junk mail? And what do? You put all that junk in the bin. You don't even look at it. What about a bulletin board? What about your local supermarket? This is almost what the bulletin boards look like. How often have you stopped and actually looked at all those bulletins one by one, absorbed the information, and maybe took a business card or wrote down information? Well, if you're like me, it's probably, I don't think I've ever done it. Next, not very efficient when we're hosting like free workshops and events, and I'll talk about these things. So if you're doing all these physical things where you have to physically leave your house and you are finding it's inefficient, I want to again show you why we want to be transitioning all of our effort online and doing these other things instead. Okay, so let's get away from all of this stuff and into the more very efficient online model. So remember, all of those things limited by numbers and location, our competition, our time and energy. It's very restrictive. So what do we do online? How can we get more efficiency online compared to putting all of this energy up here? What if we put all of that energy into doing those things physically and put it into an online service? Well, let me show you how much more you can get done with the least amount of effort, the least amount of moving parts, and the least amount of time. Remember, time is a virtue in business. We only are limited by how much time we can put into our business each day. And obviously this takes up a lot of time and energy, but let me show you what online would actually look like. So I'm going to introduce everyone to our system. This is the physical system I use in my coaching business. This is the system we actually teach all of our 100K coaching program students. They're probably going to be a little bit annoyed that I've showed you this, but I want to show you how efficient the online model is once you have mastered it, okay? So let's break everything down into actions, physical actions, okay? A comparison would be like leaving your house with 5 business cards, walking to the local shops that's 1 kilometer away, or driving to the local shops that's 1 kilometer away, speaking to 5 people and giving out 5 business cards, okay? All separate actions compared to actions we can do on Facebook, action we can do on YouTube, LinkedIn. I'll show you our organic email system, but also hiring a virtual assistant as well. So this is our entire online system. So let's break this down. Remember, individual actions. So on Facebook, let's say we've got things like Facebook Lives. We can do Facebook posts. We can do something like a niche question. So a niche question, for example, like my market would be like, if you wanted to get more clients into your hypnotherapy business, what's one marketing strategy you'd have to master? Okay, so I'm asking my community a question. I'm getting them to interact with my question. What about showing a testimonial post, like a screenshot, which I'm sure you guys have seen thousands of us. What about a testimonial video? That's something else we can do with Facebook. Organic outreach is something we can do with Facebook, and also audience building we can do on Facebook, okay? And it goes across for each platform. So let me break down the individual actions and show you what you could probably get done in an entire day compared to the old model where you're physically leaving your house, okay? So let's look at the comparison. So let's say, for example, I do 1 Facebook Live a day and 100 people show up. 100 people watch my Facebook Live because of the title. I'm answering a very specific question. And the following day, another 100 people have watched it. Maybe 100 people have watched it overnight while I've been asleep. Then the following day, I go back to that video and I notice it's gone from 100 views to 200 views. The day after that, it's gone from 200 views to 450 views. The day after that, so on and so forth over the next week. So from 1 Facebook Live per day, let's say I'm getting on average 100 people watching. Now, let me ask you this. When you go to, let's say, a B&I event, or you even host your own event, or you go to one of those breakfast or lunches, are you speaking to 100 people? Maybe, but how long would that take you to do? Compared to a Facebook Live that might take you 5 minutes to do, and 100 people watch it, you're starting to see the efficiency there. And that's just one action. That's one action, okay? So let's say I'm doing 1 of those per day. What if I'm creating 2 posts with that Facebook Live per day? So already I'm achieving 3 things on Facebook per day, 1 Facebook Live where 100 people watch it per day, and 2 Facebook posts per day. Pretty simple. Let's say that takes me half an hour to do in total per day. A lot more efficient, right? And let's say that post gets 5 comments, 10 people liking it, 4 shares. You see where I'm going. More people each day are going to start to see that. On top of that per day, so I've got the live, the post, I'm asking a niche question. What if I do 1 of those per day? What if each day as well, I show a testimonial from a past client? I do 1 of those per day. What about a testimonial video? Well, let's say I've had a great success with a client and a client has agreed to do like a testimonial video or what we call a success video with us. What if I do 1 of those per week at minimum? Then what if each day I do something called organic outreach? What if I send in my audience on Facebook 20 people per day a message with the option to help them overcome their problem, like stop smoking, anxiety, mindset, and I send 20 of those messages per day. Now I'm starting 20 conversations per day. Plus I have a testimonial video going up per week. Plus I have 1 testimonial post going up per day. Plus I have 1 niche question. I have 2 posts and 1 Facebook Live per day, which 100 people are watching per day. Do you see the efficiency starting to build? And guys, this is just Facebook. We have YouTube, LinkedIn, organic outreach and organic marketing, email marketing to look at as well. Just 1 platform for now. And what if each day on Facebook, I spend my time trying to find 20 to 30 people to add to my audience? Now, why would I want to do that? Well, let's say I get 30 people per day accepting my friend's request. Send them out a friend request. Now they become a new part of my audience. So now 30 more people per day are going to see or get the organic outreach message. They're going to have 30 people seeing my new testimonial video, 30 people seeing my testimonial post, another 30 people seeing my niche question. See where I'm going here? And what if I'm building that 20, 30 per day? So at the end of the week, I have 100 or 150 new people looking at all my content. timesing all of this per 5 per day. Okay, so per week, efficiency, one action at a time. Let's say per day I complete 56 actions per day. Okay, 56 altogether. Times 5 will work Monday to Friday. You could work Monday to Saturday like I do if you want to. Per day on Facebook alone, I'm achieving 280 actions. Do you see the efficiency, guys? Could you speak to 280 people in one day if you have to leave your house? Absolutely not. Are there 280 local businesses that you can go knocking on their door and go speak to people? Absolutely not. Are you handing out efficiently business cards to 280 people who want your service? I mean, handing out business cards and flyers, when you think about it, you're handing them out to total strangers. How do you know those people actually want what you have? And again, you have no control over these things, because what do people do? Scrunch it up, throw it in the bin. You don't have control over these things. When I do a Facebook Live with a very specific title, I know the people that click on that video to watch are interested in what I'm talking about. Now I have control over that audience. You see where I'm going here? So 56 actions per day, that's just minimum, guys, bit of rough maths. Times 5, 280 actions per day. That's on Facebook. So what if at the same time of doing Facebook per day, I'm also attacking YouTube with the same gusto? What if I do 3 niche videos per day? Per week, sorry. So every second day I create a new video for YouTube, which is highly optimized. It could be a presentation like you're watching now. It could be answering my clients' most common questions. It could be doing any of those things. And I upload that into YouTube 3 per week. Or if I wanted to get really efficient with my time, what we teach our students to do, if you're doing 1 Facebook Live per day, why don't you upload that to YouTube? Now you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, efficiency. What if per week, because I'm doing the testimonial video over here on Facebook, why don't I download that video from Facebook? If I could do like a testimonial live, or I could do like just a Zoom call or something like that and share my screen. You guys have probably seen those videos before. I upload that onto Facebook, which is now my testimonial video, and it also gets uploaded to YouTube. 2 birds with 1 stone. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but once you start getting over, I think it's over 1,000 subscribers to your YouTube channel, YouTube now has a community where you can actually make posts just like you do Facebook. So what if, like we do, we post one post, which is usually a screenshot testimonial that I have on Facebook too, and we post that to our YouTube community, okay? Efficiency. So now with this 280 actions per week, now I'm getting another 13 actions per week. But what's important is these are not new actions. I'm just taking them from what I did on Facebook. Essentially what I do on Facebook, I can do on YouTube. So now I've got Facebook and YouTube going. What about LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is pretty much essentially the same as Facebook. You can do the exact same actions on Facebook as you do on LinkedIn. So again, really efficient. I do not have to create separate content for each platform. I can repurpose content from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. That's why I love using these 3 free platforms. But you see, guys, I'm not talking about paid ads. I'm not talking about funnels. I'm not talking about websites. This is all organic marketing. This is our system. So on top of Facebook and YouTube per day, LinkedIn, I'm doing 1 live per day. Why? Because I did it on Facebook. I'm going to put it onto LinkedIn. 2 posts per day, same as LinkedIn. Take from what I do on Facebook, put it onto LinkedIn. 1 niche question, same thing. Testimonial post, same thing. Testimonial video, same thing. Now, with Facebook, we're a little bit limited by how many organic outreach messages we can send per day. You can pretty much get away with like 20 or 30 per day. But with LinkedIn, it's a little bit more lenient. You can get away with sending 30 to 50 messages per day. Now you're having conversations with 50 potential clients per day about your service and your offer, maybe booking in strategy calls from LinkedIn, alongside of doing 20 on Facebook. Now I'm starting upwards of 70 conversations per day, and I haven't even left my house. See the efficiency, guys. From there, audience building on Facebook can get away with sending about 20 to 30 friend requests per day. With LinkedIn, a little bit more lenient, you can actually get up to like 50 to 70 per day. So per day, 106 per day, so a little bit more, nearly double. From there, times 5 equals 530. So 530 actions per week here, 13 actions on YouTube, 280 actions on Facebook, and I haven't left my house, and it hasn't cost me a cent. There's no travel time cost. There's no energy cost. There's no business card cost. There's no giving away free session cost. There's no flyers cost. If I'm hosting like an event, I don't have to pay for catering or a room, or I don't have to fly from state to state. How do I know this? Because I used to do this stuff. I used to fly from state to state to state, hold seminars and free event. And it's probably one of the most costly models you can have and extremely inefficient. So from there, guys, we get into something called our organic email system. Okay, so this is the system that we created for our program that only our students have access to. So it may not make a lot of sense, but I'm just going to show you what they can get done per day. Keeping in mind, that's what they're doing on Facebook, minimum. A lot of them are doing a lot more on Facebook than what I have here. YouTube, minimum. We have students doing 2 videos per day for YouTube. LinkedIn, same as what they're doing on Facebook. Now check this out. Just keep in mind that all of this is starting conversations and getting your offer, which is I can help you X, Y, and Z, in front of as many people as possible. That's the only reason we do social media, is to get your offer in front of as many people as possible. Well, what if you had a system that could send out automatically with one push of a button that runs automatically? You never have to touch it again once it's set up to 100 emails per day. So what do I mean by this? Do I mean building an email list? Absolutely not. With Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, we've got to start to think about audiences. Maybe you're working with the general public, which is general like mums and dads or just regular people. Well, Facebook's a great place to find those people because regular people are on Facebook. YouTube has a mixture of both. With LinkedIn, however, it's more professionals, career-driven orientated people, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, doctors, lawyers. You see where I'm going. So we call this a professional audience, executive clients. So Facebook, you could be targeting general public, which is what we recommend. And our organic email system basically means that if we can find executive clients that have an email online, which means they have a website, we can grab that information and now send them our offer every day. Okay. So what if I could find 5,000 potential clients of mine online? And what if I sent 100 emails per day to each one of those people until that 5,000 people that I found online all had an email from me? So check this out, 100 per day, completely automated, times 5 over the week. That's 500 emails I'm sending per day completely automatically. Now, I'm not going to break down how this works because it's a big part of our 100K coaching program. And it is extremely efficient and nobody does this, which is just ludicrous. But I want you guys to check this out. 280 actions here. YouTube, 13 actions. LinkedIn, 530. Organic email, 500 actions per week with a total actions of 1,323. In comparison to what I was talking about before, handing out business cards, going to local events, leaving your house and having to knock on your local business and talk about RTT or coaching or therapy. Do you see the comparison of efficiency? Now, what makes online even better is we can actually hire a virtual assistant to do pretty much all of this for us. So what if, because this looks like a lot of work, and really when you do all the actions, it's not a lot because you don't have to physically leave your house, and we're repurposing a lot of our content across multiple platforms. But what if you could hire a virtual assistant that does all the audience building for you? Remember, audience building on Facebook and LinkedIn, they do all that for you. What about the organic outreach from Facebook and LinkedIn? What if they do all that for you? What about all your content research? So we need to do a lot of research when it comes to YouTube because we've got to find out what videos should I create for my audience, but also what lives should I create for Facebook and then ultimately upload these into LinkedIn. So what if I had my virtual assistant at about $5 to $10 per hour, okay, find all the audiences I need from Facebook and LinkedIn. They did all that per day for me. They sent out all the organic outreach messages. So they sent 20 on Facebook and upwards of 50 per day on LinkedIn, did all that for me. Plus they created 5 new titles. They did all the content research based on the method that we actually teach them to do. And again, it's part of our 100K coaching program to show our students how to create the right content. And we teach our VAs to find all the content we need. And they give us 5 titles or 5 options for our next 5 videos or 5 pieces of content. What if they did all of that for us? So all of these actions, probably 70 to 80% of these actions are all taken care of by somebody else. So what does that leave me to do with my business? Concentrate on the most important stuff, which is doing strategy calls, which is physically making money at the end of the call, and treating my clients. What if they were the only two things you had to do each day, while your virtual assistant did all of this other stuff for you? This is the system that we recommend you should be running. This is the difference between building your business locally and offline compared to building your business globally and online. And this becomes an efficient model to the extent that it never has to stop. Why? Because people can look at your Facebook Lives and Facebook content while you're sleeping. People can look at your YouTube videos while you're sleeping. People can stalk your LinkedIn profile while you're sleeping. People can read their emails because they're in another time zone while you're sleeping, which means your business never turns off. However, if you physically have to leave your house, knocking on business doors, you're going to the BNI events, you're handing out business cards, once you stop for the day, your business stops for the day. Not very efficient. You're leaving half the day, if not 3/4 of the day, because you might only be able to put an hour into all of this per day. You're leaving all of that other time where nobody can contact you. No one can look at your content because you're not online. So look at the comparison, 1,323 actions per day, and that's minimum. Think of how many more clients you could work with, how much money you could be making with this amount of actions per day, and knowing that most of it is automated, it just becomes ludicrous if you're not marketing and building your business online. So let's look at the comparison. And here's just a couple of examples what I've taught for, because I really want to drive this point home. Let's say you're going to a weekly business lunch, where all the business owners turn up. And let's be honest, guys, why are you going to these business lunches? Well, you're hoping to get more business. Why do you think other people are going to these business lunches or business breakfasts as well? Because they want to build their business. Do you really care about their business? Probably not. Do they really care about your business? Probably not either. They're after the same things as you, and all they're after is finding their next client. So it becomes sort of a ludicrous event to go to. So let's say we do go to a weekly business lunch or a weekly business breakfast or dinner or something like that. We're limited by numbers. How many people are going to show up? Are your potential clients actually going to these things? You've got no control over it. You don't know who's going to show up. If you're not working with, let's say, other business owners like plumbers or lawyers or doctors trying to get more clients, who's really showing up to these things? The general public's not, because they're not trying to build their business. But if you're trying to target general public people and you're going to an event where general public people are not, do you see what's going on there? Not very efficient. You go to a weekly business lunch where one lunch, 5 people turn up. The following week, 10 people show up. Following week, 50 people show up. Following week, 2 people show up. You have no control over these things. But if I do a Facebook Live with a very specific title, I can guarantee that everybody that looks at this and Facebook starting to share it are my ideal clients. How do I know this? Because if they weren't, they wouldn't be watching that video. There's also travel time, travel cost. There's cost to run your car. There's travel time, sitting in traffic, running the risk of having a car accident, whatever it is. So the cost and energy is extremely high. There's a lot of energy and cost you have to put in this to hope that the right people turn up to this weekly business lunch. Let's say you're doing a couple of those per week. Now, let's say every single day you're going around to your local area. I mean, how far can you really drive? How far can you really walk? Once you've targeted your local business or the local businesses or shopping center, you can't keep going there every single day completing the same thing because you've basically exhausted that. So now you're limited by the distance. How far do you really want to go? Plus you're talking to complete strangers. Okay, 15, 20 years ago, sure, knocking on a local business and talking about therapy and maybe speaking to people was the only efficient things. That was really all that's around, because online wasn't really as big as it is now. But right now we have access. We don't have to leave our house and we can get very targeted with our content and talk to the right people. But now we're just targeting strangers. You're going to your local hairdressers. They're all strangers. They're not there to listen to your pitch. They're not there to listen to your offer. They're there to get a haircut and get on with their day. So you're limited by distance, but also you're essentially talking to strangers. These aren't your ideal clients. So could you imagine trying to talk to a client and saying, hey, to overcome anxiety, it's going to cost you $2,500. Imagine saying that to a stranger, and this is based on the price that we have our students charging. It wouldn't work, okay? Now there's also business card costs. There's costs to travel. Maybe you spend all day going to every shopping center in your local area. Now you've got to have time for lunch, Travel time, energy time, all of that stuff, cost and energy goes right up. And again, it's not a very efficient model. Last thing, and something I used to do was give away free events. So again, free events, who's going to show up? Is it just people wanting something to do? They're going to be limited by numbers? Sure, because you have no idea who's going to show up if anybody shows up at all. Distance, how far is the event hall that you've actually hired, or the event room? Strangers could just turn up. They have really no interest in what you're talking about. Plus, I know people spending hundreds of dollars. They give away like a half-day free event, okay, free ticket, plus they're spending like $500 per day or for that half day on catering. It's ludicrous. For what? To have a presentation for people that probably don't even care what you're talking about, have no idea what you're really talking about, just want to show up for a free event, and now you've paid for their lunch? Ludicrous, okay? It's not very efficient on time, so cost and energy go through the roof. I mean, how much per day and per week could you actually get done before this becomes exhausting in comparison to what we, okay? So could you imagine this in comparison to this? 1,323 actions per week. I really want to drive this home, guys, compared to this. Sure, it might be a couple of hundred actions, but look at the efficiency. I'm across on the right-hand side here. I'm across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and my organic email system. Plus I have a VA doing this for me all the time, compared to you physically having to do all of this with no control over who shows up, who looks at your content, what your pitch will be, what your prices would be. This is the comparison between working offline, guys, and trying to build a business locally, which is very restrictive, to something online, which is infinite, okay? All right, so let me give you an example of what I mean by efficiency. So right now you're watching a presentation that I've created, okay, for you, explaining these details. So let's look at this efficiency, and I really want to drive this point home. This presentation right now, to put this whole presentation together, let's say it's 8 slides long. I'm recording it now. I've been recording now for 32 minutes. Altogether, it'll take me about an hour, okay? I'm going to upload this video straight onto YouTube. I'm going to give it the correct SEO with the right title, the right description based on my content research. Remember before I had my VA find which research and which content I should create. And she's given me this idea and I've created it. I'm going to SEO everything. So why do I want to SEO? Well, I want YouTube to recognize the main keywords of the things I'm talking about, which will be building your local coaching business or something like this. So if someone types this into YouTube, my video is going to land #1. I'm going to optimize all the keywords and do all the necessary thing that YouTube needs me to do, like descriptions and tags and thumbnails. And there's always a call to action under each one of my videos for $997. So this video alone, and once it's up, I don't have to touch it. I don't have to keep drawing people to it. I don't have to physically go out on the street and say, hey, go check out my video. YouTube's going to do all of that for me for free. And then from there, I'm pretty much guarantee someone's going to watch this video, enjoy this video, maybe look at my other videos and think, you know what, Scott's an expert in what he does. Go look at his Facebook, his LinkedIn. Yeah, I can see this guy's an expert. I'm going to join his program. So for an hour of my time, I might make 2 or 3, maybe even 5 people join my program over the next week, just from one video, okay? So let's say on average, this video gets 100 views per day. Not a lot, doesn't have to be, because the channel that I've created is highly niche to coaches and therapists. So even though we have a very small subscribers base, everybody there is highly interested, okay, in what we're talking about. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality when it comes to YouTube, okay? But I'll move forward past that. So average, let's say 100 views per day. Once it's there, I don't have to touch it. So over a week, 700 to 1,000 views per week, pretty good. That's just with one of my videos. But we have about 7,000 niche subscribers, okay, which grows about 100 new or 200 new subscribers per week. Not a lot, but very, very niched. Very niche. We don't need a lot of people to build a very big company from YouTube. And this is just YouTube. I haven't talked about Facebook, LinkedIn, and email yet. Okay, we're just going to talk about YouTube now. But altogether on my YouTube channel, I have 570 videos. With average, there might be like 5,000 to 7,000 views per week, okay, which is pretty good. And from that, YouTube actually pays me about $500 per month in ad revenue. Okay, so that's a bit of extra cash on the side. Not a big thing. But what I'm doing with all these videos is I'm constantly showing people I am the expert. Listen to me. And could you imagine Everybody watching my videos and always seeing this constant call to action. I don't have to physically say it every time. YouTube optimized in such a way in the description that I've got links to my program, webinars, all of that sort of stuff that we've set up to have this very evergreen to running all the time. But the idea behind this is while I'm sleeping, people can be watching my YouTube channel. They can be watching all my videos. They can, and I know this for a fact, sit there and binge watch my entire channel. So by the time someone does decide, you know what, I want to talk to Scott on the free strategy calls he talks about, by the time they get on these calls, they're ready to buy. I don't have to physically go meet them and sit down with them, hand out my business card, all done for me while I sleep. From there, guys, from this one video, now I can upload this video onto Facebook and I have infinite amount of people that can see it because Facebook's going to share it all around. What about LinkedIn? Remember, we're doing LinkedIn, same we do on Facebook, we do on LinkedIn. Now it's going to share it all around to as many people as LinkedIn wants. And I can also send it as an email campaign to subscribers that have maybe downloaded my book from my website. We have about 8,000 subscribers there. I can use this video to show them value and then draw them into my program. Do you see the efficiency of one video, guys? 1 hour presentation on YouTube could bring me enough cash and revenue for the rest of my life without me having to physically touch anything. As long as my program or something might offer what I'm selling, for you guys, it could be your anxiety program, your stop smoking session, whatever it is, as long as you're physically able to give your services, actually offer the thing that you're selling, thanks to something like YouTube, and that's not even including Facebook and LinkedIn and the other things, it can be running my entire business for me and I can just sit back and let it all happen. That is efficiency. I don't have to leave my house. So remember, guys, do not build your business locally. Okay, building your and marketing your business locally, we are restricted by numbers and location, competition, time and energy. It's not a very energy and time efficient model. Start thinking about taking what you do offline and putting it online, mastering Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, having an organic email system, having a VA do all of this work for you, and constantly be churning out really great, valuable content to get people booked into like a strategy call or a clarity call or a sales call, whatever you want, and offer your service to as many people as possible. Remember, what was it? 1,353 actions per week I can complete just by sitting in my house in front of my laptop. Well, I don't physically have to leave my house. Compared to building my market locally and offline, I physically have to go do everything. So guys, hopefully we've been here about 38 minutes. Hopefully that's given you an idea of the efficiency model of building your business online. If you do have any questions, make sure you comment below. I'm always happy to answer those questions. And again, thank you so much for checking out this video. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.